I remember the day I found out I was carrying twins. It was my 4th pregnancy, and though I had gone through motherhood before, something about this one felt different from the very beginning. The nausea was heavier, the fatigue relentless, and my belly grew faster than it had with my other children. When the doctor looked at the ultrasound and said, "You're having twins," I smiled. But deep inside, I worried how my husband and his family would take the news. You see, my husband's family, there were strange beliefs, deeply rooted traditions that sometimes defied logic. And one of them was that giving birth to twins was a bad omen, a curse. I had always dismissed it as an old wives' tale, never imagining it would be turned against me. When I told my husband the news, his face hardened. He didn't say much, just nodded and walked away. I thought maybe he just needed time to process it, but in the days that followed, the atmosphere in our home changed. He became distant, cold and harsh. His mother, who once adored me, stopped talking to me altogether. Whispers turned into insults, and eventually the unthinkable happened. A few days after I gave birth to my twin daughters, while I was still healing and nursing them, my husband came into the house with his brothers and said, "You have to leave. Take your bad omen with you." God, I pleaded, cried, begged for understanding, but they wouldn't hear me. They threw my belongings outside. I was weak, bleeding, and holding 2 newborns in my arms. I had nowhere to go. My older 3 children stood silently, tears in their eyes. They were not allowed to come with me. And for 7 nights, I slept on the street. I wrapped my babies tightly and held them close, shielding them from the cold as best as I could. We slept under verandas, in corners of buildings, and once in an abandoned bus. I didn't have milk to give them, and I cried each time they cried, but I refused to give up. On the 8th day, a woman who used to pass me every morning stopped and stared at me. She asked my name, where I was from, and what had happened. I told her everything, not even caring how I must have looked, dirty, worn out, and broken. She took a deep breath and said, "Come with me." She brought me to her home, a large compound with dogs barking at the gate. She led me to a small structure at the back of her compound. "This is the kennel," she said. "We used to keep our dogs here, but it's clean. You can stay here until we figure something out." It was a kennel, yes, but to me, it was a palace, a roof over our heads. I cried that night as my twins slept peacefully for the first time in days. The woman's name was Mama Grace. She was a widow in her late 50s, warm, firm, and full of compassion. After a few days, she offered me small tasks, washing clothes, sweeping the compound, helping in her kitchen. I worked with all my heart. Slowly, she began to trust me. 3 months later, she moved me from the kennel to the servants' quarters. My babies were healthier, and I had regained some strength. Mama Grace said, "You have a strong spirit. I see potential in you. Come and work for my catering company." Her catering business served events across the county. She started me as a cleaner, but I watched, listened, and learned. I would ask questions, offer to help cook, and before long, I was preparing dishes myself. My passion for food came alive again. Within a year, Mama Grace promoted me to head cook. 2 years later, I was the overall cateress, managing staff, planning menus, and overseeing big events. Mama Grace became more than a boss. She became a mother. She would sit with me at night and say, "You need to dream again. What do you really want to do?" I told her I always dreamed of owning a hotel, a place where people felt welcome, where food was prepared with love, and where women like me could find jobs and hope. She smiled and said, "Well, we will make it happen." She helped me get training in business management and even gave me seed capital. At first, I started with a small kibanda by the roadside. Then it grew to a small eatery with 2 employees. Eventually, with her continued support and my savings, I opened a medium-sized hotel. It was vibrant, clean, and full of the scent of spices and freshly baked bread. My twins were 4 years old by then, playful and full of life. They knew no pain, only love, and that's all I ever wanted for them. Then one morning, as I prepared to open for the day, someone knocked at my gate. I opened, and there he was, my husband. He looked thinner, older, and regret was written all over his face. He knelt at my feet, tears flowing. "Forgive me," he said. "I was wrong. They lied to me. I've missed you. I want my family back." I felt a mixture of emotions: anger, pain, pity, but most of all, peace. Because I was no longer the broken woman he threw out. I was a mother, a businesswoman, a survivor. I said, "I forgive you, but we can never go back. I'm filing for divorce." He cried harder. I gave him access to our daughters, and I asked for access to my other children who had been left with him. It wasn't easy, but we agreed. Now, we have a co-parenting arrangement. The twins know their father. My other children visit me during school holidays. And my hotel is thriving. Every time I pass by the kennel where I once slept, I smile. Because it reminds me that from the lowest place, God can raise you to heights you never imagined. And to every woman out there who has been cast aside, who has been told she is a curse, who has slept in the cold with a heart full of pain, I want you to know you are not a curse. You are a miracle in motion. Keep going. Your story is not over. And for that, Mama Grace, happy Mother's Day. And to myself, I celebrate myself. And to you, woman that is listening to me, you're a strong woman. You're a mother. As long as you've brought life to this world, that life depends on you. So for the sake of that one, be strong. Keep going. Your story is not over. Happy Mother's Day.